Hey everybody, I have an unboxing today of the UmiDigi. This is the S2 Lite. So UmiDigi's packagings are usually pretty nice. So, it's a little bit different from the generic white box that you see from a lot of the Chinese companies like Lite. Oh, it's a nice metal phone. You get a case. This appears to be an iPhone X inspired notch design knockoff, but we'll see. Oh, that's a very nice packaging. So you have right here papers, SIM ejector tool, and a nice little folded envelope. This case is pretty nice. And you have right here, this is probably a USB-C cable. I like the little red design. Looks like the OnePlus cables. USB-C cable, a charging brick, and a dongle for headphone jack, because there is no headphone jack on this phone. So that's it. There might be a screen protector on here. I think there is actually. So let's peel off the back first. Nice metal feel, just like the UmiDigi S2, the other one that I tested. That one was inspired by the Galaxy S8. This is obviously inspired by the iPhone X. So I think this is a screen protector. Yep, this is indeed a screen protector that's already applied. So I think this design, this is probably a fake notch. Yep, it is indeed a fake notch, just like what was that phone I tested? The ILA-X. Yeah, the ILA-X also has the fake notch, so this is a pretty typical Android look, to be honest. A pretty sizable bezel at the bottom, sizable bezel at the top, but I'm gonna take this off actually. Just get this damn protector off, because I want to see if they actually painted over the bezels. Oh no, they didn't. Okay, yeah, so if you look from the front, it's a total standard Android. So I'm gonna play with this for a bit. I'll be back. Hey guys, I'm back. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because this is the S2 Lite, so it's actually very similar to the S2 Pro that I unboxed and made a video of about a month ago. So you can check out that video in the description below. I'll have a link for that. So this phone might be a better purchase because it's a lot cheaper. Right now it's going for 150 bucks. I think this is a special deal. I think it's usually 170. So that's almost $100 cheaper than the S2 Pro. And you get the same kind of beautiful design. I mean, I really like the look of this phone. A full metal back. This is like legit metal. It's not the fake plastic, fake metal type. It feels very hefty, very premium. Like when you knock on it, it feels very solid. And I like the two circular lens with the fingerprint reader. I think personally, this is just my opinion, I like this design better than say on the Galaxy Note 8 with the square, with the kind of rectangle fingerprint reader and rectangle camera. I also like cameras to be just kind of centered. So I don't like it when it's on the side like this. I mean, it's fine when it's on the side, but I just like it better like this. So that's why I like the Huawei Mate 10 Pro so much. It kind of looks like this. So I think this is a very good looking phone from the back. And on the front, you still get a 6-inch 18:9 display. The difference is on the S2 Lite, it's only a 720p resolution. So 720p, not the 1080 resolution you get on the Pro. So now the only other difference is this phone runs the S2 Lite runs a pretty mid-tier MTK 6750 chipset, whereas the S2 Pro runs a Helio P25, so it's a little bit more powerful. This phone also only comes with 4 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage. On S2 Pro, you get 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. So this phone, it's a little bit less powerful in every way, but you get the same beautiful design for $100 less. So let's check out Geekbench really quick for people who care about benchmarks. So the score is not that high at all. 629 single core, 268 multi-core. So this is not a powerful phone, but at the 170 price range, I think it's okay. Okay, now I also ran a benchmark on PC Mark, which is one of my favorite benchmark apps. So I grabbed a screenshot of the score because for some reason when you go into PC Mark, it doesn't really show you the old score that you did. So I scored a 3,341. That's not that good. To give you an example, a Huawei Mate 10 Pro scores 7,000. A Galaxy Note 8 scores about 6,900. And then even other budget phones I've tried would score about 4,000. So this is a little bit on the low end. This is definitely a budget phone. But there is one thing this phone offers that the S2 Pro does not, and that's Face Unlock. Face Unlock, and it actually works pretty well. It takes about, it's not as fast as the OnePlus 5Ts, but let me try it right now. Yeah, so it took about, I'd say 1.5 seconds. So it's pretty fast. And the best thing about it is you can use Face Unlock and fingerprint reader. Meaning you can use both. Because on the Doogie Mix 2, Doogie Mix 2 is the first really obscure Chinese brand to have Face Unlock. But when you use Face Unlock with the Doogie Mix 2, that disables the fingerprint reader. So that makes the Face Unlock kind of pointless because the fingerprint reader is ultimately faster and more reliable. So if you have a Face Unlock that disables the fingerprint reader, then that's pointless because nobody wants to use Face Unlock 100% of the time because you can't really use 100% of the time anyway. It's not that reliable. So it's great that this phone lets you unlock your face and also the finger. But I noticed that it's a little bit buggy sometimes. The fingerprint reader, I don't know, it's because I have Face Unlock installed that messes with it. Sometimes when I put my finger on it, so right now it's working fine, but earlier, every time I put my finger on it, it would go into the lock screen and ask me to input a pin. But then from there, if I put my finger on the fingerprint reader a second time, then it unlocks. So right now, I'm unable to recreate the problem. It's turning on every time. But even with that problem, it's not a major deal breaker because it's not like the fingerprint reader doesn't work. You just have to tap it twice, basically. Yeah, so now it's working 100% of the time. I'm going to show you Face Unlock one more time, okay? I'm going to put my face on it as soon as I turn on the display. Okay, yeah, so that took 1.5 seconds. So that's pretty fast, pretty impressive for a $150 phone, $140. So now let's talk software. So this phone runs a Android 7.0, so it's a little bit outdated with a skin over it. So the skin, relatively clean. Not a lot of bloat. The only bloat app I can think of is the web browser app. So this is kind of pointless because everyone would just rather use Chrome. Otherwise, you have an app tray. That's all the apps that's in there. Not a lot. You can't bring down a notification shade by swiping down here though, unfortunately. You have to reach from the top, which is one of my pet peeves. So let's go into settings to see if there are gestures. There's a little bit of bug with these Chinese kind of vanilla Android app is that you can't search in settings. So I search buttons, it doesn't show up. So this search it's pointless. You can't search for settings. You have to scroll through everything to find what you need. So let's see if there are gestures. I don't believe there are. So there are no gestures in this phone. But you do get to set shortcuts for the buttons. So you can double tap the home button to do something. Right now I didn't set any action on it, but you are able to. So you have home button, double tap, so you can set it so double tap could turn on the flashlight or turn off the screen. So let's check out the flashlight. So you tap the home button, you turn on the flashlight. So I guess this is a gesture in itself, but that's the only gesture I have. There is nothing like draw a circle, 3-finger swipe, any of that. So in terms of gaming performance, this is solid. I'm running a really graphic intensive game right now, and you see the frame rate, it's actually a little bit low, but at least there's no lags. But you see like there's a little bit of a frame rate stutter right there. But the graphic looks good, and the phone doesn't heat up. So everything, it can run these games fine. It's just you have to put up a little bit of a stutter frame rate. So in terms of other performance, I think the phone has been pretty smooth so far. You are able to quick jump between apps. So look at how fast this is. This is faster than some budget phones, the way the apps pop in and out of the screen. And you are able to run split screen mode. So you can run two apps side by side. So that's pretty cool. So now let's check out video testing. Okay, so this is max volume right now. So you only have a single fine speaker at the bottom that you can muffle, but actually you can't muffle it that easily. I'm covering it right now, it still sound comes out pretty well. So let's go to 50% volume. Overall volume is a little bit low though, but this display looks pretty good again. So viewing angles right now. Let's go max brightness. So max brightness gets pretty bright too. This is a very nice vibrant display. So now moving on to the camera, I'm not even going to talk about like the specs, like how many megapixels, because these Chinese phones are all the same. This second camera is bullshit. Fake bokeh mode again, so let's just focus on whether or not the photos turn out decent. Let me lower the screen brightness a little bit. So pretty typical camera app, yeah, panorama, video, beauty mode, and bokeh. Again, the bokeh mode is just a fake blur that looks fake as hell, so I would advise to ignore the bokeh mode. You notice that shutter is really slow, so that's shooting, see, so that's shooting bokeh. But now if you ignore bokeh and just shoot normal photos can turn out pretty nicely. Like this shot, it's pretty well detailed. Let me turn up the brightness a little bit now. The shutter speed is a little bit slow in general, but these are definitely passable photos. You can definitely post this on social media and nobody's going to complain. Dynamic range here is pretty poor, I would say. And this car here, the color is a little bit warm. The orange wasn't this bright basically. It was a little bit lighter shade, but overall pretty solid. Let's check out some videos. So jerky as hell, no OIS, no EIS. But quite clear though. Colors are pretty vibrant too. So these are the modes that you have. You're able to shoot, you can turn on GPS exposure. You can change the exposure settings right here. So it's kind of like a manual control. You're able to hide the navigation bar too. So that means if you go on something like Instagram, you're able to watch stories in full screen. So I think it looks pretty immersive when you do that. So that's it for now, because I've covered this phone before a couple of times already. This is the S2 Lite. It's just a slightly inferior version of the S2 Pro, but I think this might be a better purchase. This is 100, how much was it? Like 150 bucks for now. The S2 Pro, I believe, goes for 250. I'd rather save the 100 because it's not like the S2 Pro is that powerful. The camera is about the same. It's going to be passable in the day, pretty terrible at night. Otherwise, if you use this phone just to go on Facebook, go on Instagram and watch videos, I think you can't really ask for more. I mean, 150 bucks, you get a pretty good build quality. Display looks good. Okay, thanks for watching.